Hello and welcome to this Come to Jesus Daily Devotional. Today we consider the kinds of attributes that damage our relationships and that need to be put to death. Let's read from Colossians 3 verses 5 to 11. Put to death, therefore, whatever belongs to your earthly nature: sexual immorality, impurity, lust, evil desires, and greed, which is idolatry. Because of these, the wrath of God is coming. You used to walk in these ways in the life you once lived, but now you must also rid yourselves of all such things as these: anger, rage, malice, slander, and filthy language from your lips. Do not lie to each other, since you have taken off your old self with its practices, and have put on the new self, which is being renewed in knowledge and in the image of its Creator. Here there is no Gentile or Jew, circumcised or uncircumcised, barbarian, Scythian, slave or free, but Christ is all and is in all. So what are we to put to death? Over this week, reflecting on Colossians, we've been thinking about how we've been made new, we've been raised with Christ. That's our new identity. But however, we have the flesh, and we're to learn to put off the flesh and to obey the Spirit. This is not automatic. We have to put things off and put things on. Today we're thinking about what we need to put to death. Firstly, we see that we're to put ungodly attitudes to sex to death. We're to put off things that damage our relationships sexually. Our text speaks of 5 sinful approaches to relationships that we're to put to death. Immorality, that's fornication, which is sex outside of Christian marriage. Impurity, we're not to pollute our new life with sexual sin in act or thought. Lust, we're not to allow ourselves to become inflamed by sexual desires for those who are not our husband or wife. Evil desires, this is to be eager for what is against God's will. So we're to put these things off. Fifthly, greed or covetousness. This is to be greedy for what we don't have. In this context, it's about sexual sin. We're not to be greedy or covetousness of sex that's ungodly. The motive behind all of these things I've listed, immorality, impurity, lust, and evil desires, the motive behind this is this greed or covetousness, a desire for what is not in line with God's will. We're to put off an ungodly, a fleshly approach to sex, and this world is full of it, and it's pushed on us. It's rammed down our throat, isn't it? But we belong to another kingdom, so we're to put these things off. Secondly, we're to put off an ungodly approach to speech. The ways that we speak are to be in keeping with the kingdom of God and Christ's likeness. Colossians 3, 8-9 says, "But now you must rid yourselves of all such things as these: anger, rage, malice, slander, filthy language from your lips. Do not lie to each other, since you have taken off your old self with its practices." So we're to rid ourselves of speech such as anger. This is anger that's ongoing. It's to hold onto the wrongs that we feel have been done to us. Anger. Rage, this is outbursts of rage, is to allow our actions to be controlled by our passions. Thirdly, malice. This is to have an ongoing hatred or grudge against a particular person. It's to want that person to suffer in some way, or certainly not want them to be blessed. Fourthly, slander. This comes from the word blasphemy. It means to be slow to reveal God's ways, but quick to speak evil in our relationships. It's to poorly represent Jesus in our speech. Fifthly, filthy language from our lips. This is the content of our speaking. No one would offer a glass of water mixed with a drop of sewage to a friend. It's disgusting even to say it, isn't it? So why would we offer speech that's not completely pure? Sixthly, we're told, do not lie. Finally, we're told not to lie to one another. Lying is not congruent with the new self that we've put on. Of our new selves, we are told, which is being renewed in knowledge in the image of its creator. Falsehood and lying is not in keeping with the image of our creator, who speaks only what is true. So in response, just as at Colossae, our relationships are severely damaged through ungodly and unwise attitudes to sex and poor use of language. Our culture is saturated with sexual immorality. It's in many songs, films, shows, advertisement, philosophies of life. The world without Jesus seeks to make sexual sin attractive. And if we allow ourselves to believe the message, we will develop greed in that area, covetousness in that area. Do you see that? It's the inner greed that leads to the external sexual immorality. If we're not wise, we can feed the fire of illicit desire through what we think about and what we allow to entertain us. We feed this fire, this greed, for sexual sin. To break the power of sexual covetousness, we need to set our minds on things above, as it says in chapter 3, verse 2, and put to death, therefore, whatever belongs to your earthly nature. Verse 5. Our world, ever more so since the advent of social media, is divided by a poor use of language. Not only is poor use of sex and thoughts of sex damaging us, but also our use of language. Anger, rage, malice, slander, and filth seem to be the main features of the most popular content creators on social media. Sex and hate sells. Everyone has been involved in sexual and language sin in some way, and we all need to put it to death. What steps do we need to take in order to pursue healthy relationships? God bless you.